Hello everyone, my name is Canonizado, and I'm running to be your Internal Vice President for the 2019-2020 school year. To start off the speech, I prefer not to bore you with my formal qualifications and platform points. Rather, I'd love to tell you a story about how I've applied my strengths thus far, arriving to the stand before you today. Some of you may know this about me, others may not, but this is the most critical point to understanding who I am. 3 months prior to me attending USC, I watched my dear mother get taken from this earth. She raised me as a single mom and left behind my newborn sister, just barely opening her eyes to a new world. I was shattered and awed all at the same time. I lost my soul guiding light just as a new one emerged. Through the pain, I embodied my mom's love and tender care to personally take care of my sister during the 3 months leading up to USC movement day. From that point, I continued on my path to college. At times during this process, I was tempted to drop out of college, shut down, and retreat to grief, but my mom raised me to never stop fighting. When I got to USC, I held on to my story and kept quiet, thinking that other college students wouldn't understand. Nonetheless, I knew I had to somehow find myself in this new and intimidating environment, because without my mom, I was lost. One late night, as I was strolling through Alumni Park to get home, this dark figure jumped out at me and shouted, "Hey you, do you like Bruno Mars?" I was initially shocked, but then I immediately lit up and replied, "Hell yeah, I like Bruno Mars." I then focused in to see him standing in front of a poster that read, USC, Troy, Philippines. That person was none other than Joseph Blackson, Troy Phi's former president. Since this first encounter and several meetings after, I felt like the people at Troy Phi matched my energy at a place where I could be authentically myself. And as time went on, I knew that this was my new family. From the moment I joined, I knew I wanted to have a leadership role in the club. That spring semester, I jumped at the opportunity to be part of the internship program to learn more about the ins and outs of the organization. The first thing we tapped into as interns was the driving force behind everything we did, our why. My why was to make my mom proud and be a role model for my baby sister. While this may seem like a generic goal at face value, knowing my story, this meant honoring a life by raising another. Ultimately, the internship program provided a safe space for me to fulfill my why, despite my unique tragedy. I enjoyed contributing to the planning and execution of events so that I may have the pleasure of helping create an environment that drew other students to find this family, just as I found all of you when I needed it most. When I assumed the position as Director of Development this past year, I did it with the intention of propelling the theme of TP Grows. Personally, as an environmental studies major, growth in the context of taking a seed and seeing its transformation to a mature form is what gets me especially excited. This entire year, I've held programming to see that through all of you. Some of these events include the networking GM, resume building workshops, self-care GM, TP Grows GM, etc. At each event, I tried to give you something mental or physical to leave with, whether that be a different perspective on mental health or a reusable metal straw. Through the TP Grows Garden Day especially, I was pleased to create a space for the roots of friendships to further develop in our group. Above everything, I live to see the members of this club thrive. It is the most rewarding feeling when I put out the resources and see others directly flourishing as a result. The love and passion I have for this group reflects the same joy I get from caring for my sister. I love my current job as your Director of Development, but I want to contribute more. I believe that the role of IVP serves as a perfect transition from the work I've done this past year. I understand that it takes empathy, passion, and positivity to effectively carry out the obligations of this position. As IVP, my job would be primarily to be a caretaker of this group and sprout the seedlings that bloom into the future of this club. I would lead and develop the internship program, be a representative at all APOSS meetings and events, and host weekly office hours. As a leader of the internship program, I would like to implement 3 pillars to structure each meeting: building relevant leadership skills through event planning and close communication with board members, facilitating individual growth by emphasizing self-reflection and confidence boosting, and lastly, extending our cultural awareness through history and Tagalog lessons, as well as presentations about our unique backgrounds. As an APOSA representative, I would love to gather more attendance from TP board and general members to show the larger Asian community on campus that we may be small in numbers, but we carry a big presence. Lastly, for weekly office hours, I want to create a comfortable space for members not to only do homework, but also chat with me as a friend and as a resource, because I know firsthand how difficult it is to attain mental health services here at USC, and I guarantee there will always be food. Ultimately, when I was facing my mom's passing as a spring avid freshman, I desperately needed the strength to push me through. Since joining Troy Phi, I found that strength in all of you guys. As your IVP, I promise to continue fostering a culture of empathy, passion, and positivity in everything that I do to help all of you grow and empower you to overcome even the most crippling barriers.